What's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be looking at the 3 principles of defense. So let's get into it. So my ideology behind defense is we want to layer our defense, and for me it works in 3 ways when we're starting looking at a boxing sequence. So what I mean by this is we can defend with our feet, our hands and our head. So the easiest one for me, and it should be number 1, is our footwork in our way to defend. So if Ruben is going to throw the jab at me, the easiest way for me to defend, rather than trying to catch with my hands or slipping them out the way of the shot, my first line of defense should be my feet. So as the jab comes, I can just glide out of range. So the reason for this is if I'm looking to parry a shot or I'm looking to be in my shell, there's still a risk of me being hit. So if I mistime the parry, I can still get caught. If I'm shelled in my guard here, I'm still taking impact. Whereas if I just glide out of the way, I take the least amount of damage possible, okay? So for me, the first thing we always want to start at is our feet, all right? So as soon as someone's advancing forward with punches, I'll always use my feet as my first line of defense, okay? After the feet, if my opponent starts to really crash the range and starts to close in and I can no longer use my feet, maybe he's quicker at moving forward than me or I've just mistimed it, then I have to bring in my second layer. So then I have to use my hands. So now if we come in and they start to get past my feet, I can then start to use my hands defensively, all right? So this can be parrying, shelling, yeah, long guarding, any form of defense that's going to use my hands, all right? If they start to get past the hands, that's when I'll use my third layer, which is going to be my head movement, okay? So that's going to be my final part. So if they've started to come in and they've started to beat my feet position, yeah, if they're starting to get through the hands, now I have to start moving my head off that center line, all right? But once I've moved my head off the center line, I will then try and go back to moving my feet again. So it all chains together, these layers, all right? Say the cross comes and I move my head, I'm in my last position. Instead of me just being here and keeping moving my head, I will look to re-center out and use my feet again, okay? And then be back in a position where it's easy for me to glide out the way of a shot. So they're the 3 layers of what we can use, but even better is if you start using these layers together, okay? So say the jabs come in. Instead of me only using my feet or only using my hands, I can use my feet and my hands together to make sure I've got 2 layers of defense working at the same time, all right? So if the jab comes, I can change my range and use my hand. Now, there's 2 things for my opponent to get past. So say they do get past the feet, my hand is there to catch me and keep me safe, yeah? If they go to get past my hand or I mistime it, I've used my feet to keep my range out of way, all right? So then I've got 2 layers of defense happening all the time, all right? So it's going to be a lot easier for me to stay safe. So for me, they're the 3 principles that we always want to be looking at when we're looking to be defending. Well, we're starting with our feet, so we're always moving our feet out of range to keep ourselves safer. Then if they start to get past our foot position, we can start bringing our hands in and be defensive with our hands. If they start to beat the feet and the hands, then I look to take my head off center line. Once I've moved my head, maybe once or twice, I look to recenter, come back to a position where I'm in an open space and I can start to move my feet again, okay? On top of this, in a kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA situation, not only are you going to be looking out for punches, you're going to be looking out for kicks as well. I put kicks, leg defense in the same category as the hands, all right? So it will go feet and then hands and legs if you're in a kickboxing Thai situation, yeah? So the same way that I will push back and I'll parry from a jab, if I push back and they go to leg kick me, I'll push and I'll check, you see? So my limbs are in the same category in the layers of defense, yeah? So I have my feet, my footwork to keep me safe. Then I can use my hands or my legs to check. And then I look for my head movement on the end, okay? So they're the 3 layers of defense, yeah? Try and layer them together when you're looking to defend. And even better, bring 2 of them together when you're looking to be in a defensive position, okay? Wicked, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.